crowd as well in on hand for our final night of the coal miner for 25-26 as Oscar Amato, who won his West Australian title here on the March Long weekend in 25, starting on pole with his cousin Tia. On the outside, Amato, Crow and Birch, your front two rows as we're underway in heat race number 7.
Away we run. Amato and Amato. Couple of Lehmans out there as well. Oh, and the West Australian champion got it super sideways. Here comes Tia Amato on the outside, and here comes the challengers. And the one in the fourth position at the moment is the one to watch out for, Jake Lehman. Again, the West Australian champion gets it super sideways as they come into the main straight, and Tia Amato will lead. Jake Lehman now moves up on the outside as they go into Cardinals Corner. Tia Amato the leader, Oscar on the inside. Jake Lehman has taken the lead away, so I said he'll be hard to toss from pole. He's back in third place as they come out of Palmer's Corner and into the main straight. Tia Amato leads after 2 from Jake Lehman. Oscar Amato, and back in fourth is young Jake Johnson.
And line astern as well for the first 5, maybe even 6, with Xavier Crow just behind them. As Oscar Amato is actually trying to buck the trend of following each other as we look to the outside of Lehman. On the exit of turn number 2, he now to the inside of the 70 machine as our 2-time former West Australian champion is chased by our current WA champion. Then as Jake Johnson, Josh Birch, Xavier Crow, Adam Reynolds, and the 71 of Jake Lehman, who tails the field out of that one. We're all still chasing Tia Amato, who set a great set of laps so far in the 38. Completely different to what we saw last Friday night at the Perth Motorplex, where she couldn't fire a shot.
So halfway home, Tia Amato out in front from Jake Lehman. Back to Oscar Amato in third, then Jake Johnson fourth. A gap back to the other 4, led by Josh Birch. Xavier Crow is there. No. And we've got trouble. We've got one that's gone around, and that is Josh Birch. And bang, bang, bang into one another. Concertina effect. Wait for Tia Amato to put the foot down, and then the green lights all activate. There they go. Around the cone, Tia Amato leads Jake Lehman. Oscar Amato in third place as they move down into Cardinals Corner. Also there is Jake Johnson and also Josh Birch as they move down the back straight once again. Jake Lehman looking for a way through on Tia Amato as they go up into Palmer's Corner. Out of turn 4 they come, and Oscar Amato looking down the inside. So we've done 5, 3 to go in heat number 7 of the Top Stars, and there's nothing separating the lead 3 cars. Tia Amato still out in front by a car length on Jake Lehman. Oscar Amato looks to the outside. Jake Johnson right there with them as they come into the main straight. 2 to go. Another big finish coming up.
As we've been joined by Jake Johnson as well, so what we thought was a 3-way battle turns to a 16-car wheel onslaught in the race lead. Amato, Lehman, Amato and Johnson 1 through to 4 at the moment as they head to the western corner for the second to last time. Amato on the outside times 2. One trying to be passed by Jake Lehman, the other trying to do so on the top side of the racetrack, while Johnson, Birch, Reynolds, Crow and Lehman round out your field. That's how they went past the white flag with 1 to go. But all eyes are fixated on your top 3. They're giving the old push and shove. Amato to the inside, Lehman to the inside. They're all trying to get by Tia Amato, who holds strong and takes victory in heat race number 7 of our Top Star Junior Stands, thanks to KJB. What a race in the end. From Amato, Lehman and Amato, your top 3 separated by just over half a second.
Starting lineup quickly. 22, William Glasby in 49, Seth Townsend, row 2, Riley Bain in 57, Luke Bailey in 15. Row 3 is Lincoln Hoth in 29 and 34, Baxter Truchet. And the back row is Jesse Hammond in 7 and Isla Yates in 9. And here's the 9th, being Morgan Melvin with the call.
Almost 4 wide as well as we head to the green. Baxter Truchet trying to find a way to split through them all. He was almost 90 degrees in front of Lincoln Hoth. as we're behind Seth Hinsey in car number 49. We got the second of the Townsend Racing cars out of Isla Yates in car number 9, but William Glaspie fights back on the inside of the Mount Barker driver up against the man from Tom Price, but it's the Auto Price Tom Price car number 49 of Seth Hinsey who leads. Baxter Truchet up into... Seth Townsend, I do apologise about that. It's Baxter Truchet in third from Luke Bailey and Lincoln House. I do apologise. It is Seth Townsend in the 49. How could we forget that in that lime green car number 49?
So Townsend, Glasby, Truchet back in fourth place. The 15 of Luke Bailey, Lincoln Hoth in fifth. And going into sixth place then is Riley Bain ahead. Oh, there's trouble between Riley Bain and Isla Yates as they are just about stationary on the back straight. Meanwhile, back of the ranch, our race leader is Townsend from Glasby, Truchet on the outside. Right behind them is Luke Bailey and Lincoln Hoth, the five of them locked together as Isla Yates calls it a day in 9, and so too does the 57 with a flat tyre of Riley Bain, not happy. So they come out of 3 and 4. Look at this, 3 wide for second place behind Seth Townsend as we come to the halfway mark.
Great races, Bailey, Glasby, Truchet, and now Lincoln Hoth all right behind Townsend in the Penrite Isles 49. Glasby runs wide. That allows Baxter Truchet to get more than a car length onto the inside of Glasby, but the XL will fight back on the higher side. There is a very racy make smoking history, Collie Speedway at the moment, and the battle is now for the lead as Townsend is being hounded by Luke Bailey, who was 0.2 of a second quicker than the fast 49 out in front. A 22.1 played a 21.8 played a 21.6 that time around. So Bailey is catching. It's 4/10 as they try and clear away from Truchet and Glasby. With 2 to go, the race is for your lead.
Well, we've had some ripper finishes already tonight. We're in for another one. It's Townsend just from Bailey back to Truchet in third. Townsend's off the curb. Bailey looks to the inside. Truchet is in third place. Back then to William Glasby, then Hoth and Hammond. And when you've got Jesse Hammond stuck at the back of the field, the rest of them are going like the clappers down the main straight. The white lights are on. Well, the white flag is out. Wrong venue. It's Townsend, the leader from the second place car. Luke Bailey back in third place. It's Baxter Truchet, then Glasby. Down the KJB, back straight the final time. It is Townsend still in front. He's off the curb, sticking to the inside as the 15 car of Bailey. Claw, this is very, very close. It's Townsend by 0.02 of a second. 0.02 of a second. Townsend from Bailey from Truchet. Back to Glasby, Hoth and Hammond. What a finish that was. He snuck up the inside. Townsend went slightly wide, but has been able to hang on by 0.026 of a second. Bailey second, Truchet and Glasby round out your top 4. 7 cars to start the 9th heat of the top stars. Travis Lehman in 71 and Jesse Hammond are on the front row. Row number 2 will be Jake Johnson in 27 and Lincoln Hoth in 29. Row 3 is supposed to be Josh Birch and 57 Riley Bain. And Tia Amato and William Gasby, row 4. No William Gasby out there, so it'll be a field of 7 for this heat of the Top Star Juniors. 7 of them to go around. Travis Lehman in the 71. Away we go. Hammond, your race leader. Hoth makes it a row of 3 on the outside of Lehman as the 27 of Jake Johnson went the inside of Lehman. Coming up on the outside of Lehman now is the 57 of Riley Bain as they go up into Palmer's Quarter the first time. Car number 5 of Jesse Hammond leads them into the main straight. Jake Hoth is out after him. Sorry, Lincoln Hoth is out after him. Jake certainly isn't. Back in third place is Jake Johnson. Then Riley Bain in fourth place. Tia Amato, who won the last qualifying heat, is back there in fifth. Then we've got Travis Lehman and Josh Birch. Into the main straight, it's a race in 2 out in front. Hammond and Hoth.
Yeah, completely different kettle of fish from what we saw in his opening heat race to the second one. He was at the tail of the field struggling to find his way through. Was Jesse Hammond. Now he leads comfortably over Lincoln Hoth, the young son from Derby. Great to have so many Derby counterparts as well, continuing to travel up and down the road of races here in the southwest as Johnson, Tia Amato, Riley Bain Travis Lehman and Josh Birch run 1 through to 7 at the moment. It's line astern, especially 5th, 6th and 7th, kind of spread out comfortably at the moment from 1 through to 5 as Hammond comfortably at the halfway mark continues to take control of this last heat race.
Both in second place, back in third place is Jake Johnson, Tiramado. Plenty of support and love on the text line still coming through. Back then to Riley Bain, Travis Lehman and Josh Birch. But Jesse Hammond is out in front in this, what heat race is this one? Heat number 9. 1 to go for the top stars, which will be straight after this. But Jesse Hammond needs a big win here and some big points to get himself in the pointy end of the feature race later on tonight. Hoth in second place, Tiramado now making a move underneath of Jake Johnson for third as they move up into turn number 3. Johnson on the outside, Amato on the inside. We've got 2 to go.
And it's still the status quo as well as the closest battle of them all is that battle for third spot as Amato to the inside of Jake Johnson. They'll draw level on the exit of turn number 2 and Amato on the inside has the upper hand. She'll try and elevate herself onto the podium, but Johnson wants to fight back. It won't be that way though as Amato in the 38 puts herself into P number 3. Further back in the field as they do greet the white flag, Josh Birch and Riley Bainer in a nice old battle as Riley Bain's actually got the right rear tyre tucked underneath him. So not sure how he's getting that car around. Who definitely got their car around fantastically in Heat 9 was Jesse Hammond taking victory over Lincoln Hoth and Tiramado. Check out the right rear on Riley Bain as he races it to the end. But it is 45 degrees. Maybe trying to get an unfair advantage, but it didn't work in the end.
The wheel's hardly even on the ground. Amazing stuff. You'll get one more look at it as he comes back into the front straight. But the back right wheel is definitely at least at 45 degrees on that car.
And it hung on. That's the impressive bit. A cool bit of tidbit as well. They reckon the ACB and Perth Stadium lost $11 million by finishing in 2 days. Oh.
Yep, certainly did. Right, have a look at this. Look at this wheel here from young Bain. How that is still getting around has got me beat. That is...
he finished.
It's like it's a sidecar wheel in the way that is positioned. Anyway, the final qualifying heat of the top stars who have been great all weekend. Car number 9, Isla Yates. And Adam Reynolds in 23 will be a front row. Baxter Truchet, Jake Lehman, row 2. Luke Bailey, Xavier Crow, row 3. Seth Townsend and Oscar Amato will be row number 4.
Heat 10 of 10. And Isla Yates will start off the point with Adam Reynolds in the 23. Final time for our top star, Junior Sedans, is underway. Luke Bailey trying to split the middle as he's to the inside of Adam Reynolds and Isla Yates, as it is Baxter Truchet who will lead down the back straight for the first of 8 occasions. One car tried the outside line quickly has been Jake Lehman as he's up into 5th place at the present stage, but it's Truchet, Bailey and Yates after 1. To the outside finally of Reynolds has gone your former 2-time West Australian champion of Seth Townsend right behind Reynolds, and it's Oscar Amato and Xavier Crow watching him all ahead of him at the moment into Palmer's corner. Battle is for the race lead at the moment as your top 4 try and break away.
It's a great race out in progress. Bailey dives to the inside, takes the lead from Truchet. What can Truchet do? Baxter still on the outside. Townsend third. Jake Lehman is there. Here comes Oscar Amato, gets underneath of Adam Reynolds. Out of Palmer's corner. 5 laps to go. Bailey just in front. Truchet, Townsend, Lehman. Oscar Amato is there. So too the 23 car of Adam Reynolds, who comes back underneath of Oscar Amato. Back then to Seth Townsend and Xavier Crow. Out of turn 4 they come. The race leader, Luke Bailey from Truchet. Isla Yates still in 3rd place, and back in 4th is Lehman.
And definitely a complete 180 for Isla Yates, Yates after what she saw in her opening heat race tonight. She's doing a great job fending off car number 70 of Jake Lehman, while Reynolds, Amato and South Townsend are all into play as well for that third spot. Bailey and Truchet are trying their best to pull away, while Lehman is throwing everything he possibly has at Isla Yates. So too as well has Oscar Amato on Adam Reynolds, as Reynolds has been passed by Amato. Here comes Lehman trying to do the same to Yates, and all of a sudden your West Australian champion has made it an absolute party for third spot.
So Luke Bailey leads with 2 to go in the final qualifier for the top stars. Baxter Truchet in second place. Isla Yates, Jake Lehman, Oscar Amato's there. Adam Reynolds and Seth Townsend, and back then to Xavier Crowe. White flag is out, 1 to run. And Luke Bailey, this time around, does a 21.339. Truchet in second place. Isla Yates still in third. Lehman right behind Isla. On the inside is Oscar Amato. This is for third, fourth and fifth. But our race leader, Luke Bailey, will come out at turn number 4 and greet the checkered flag. Luke Bailey wins the final qualifier. Truchet, Isla Yates, back then to Lehman, Oscar Amato, Adam Reynolds, Seth Townsend and Xavier Crowe. 21.4 was the quick lap by our winner in Luke Bailey, who wins by 2.2 seconds over Baxter Truchet, Isla Yates and Jake Lehman.
Show for them, but we thank them so much for joining us for this weekend.
Well, it is a very quality field, and they've all made it. We've got 16 of them through to the feature. Next time around we'll be going green. Luke Bailey and Jake Lehman on row 1.
How cool is it to hear the crowd as well cheering him on? Awesome to see so many join us for literally a 10-top weekend. There's just Sedans, nothing else. And you've come in your droves. Thank you so much for continuing to be here at one of the homes of grassroots speedway racing here in the West. Right, here we go. This is going to be a blockbuster. 15 laps the journey. Luke Bailey has qualified on pole after 5 qualifying heats over the 2 nights. Jake Lehman, the West Australian champion, on row 3. All about set to go. 15 laps in the A main for the junior sedans is all go. Nice dispatch too. The first to break formation was Truchet on the inside, and he might do it. He might go straight to the lead. He has. He's taken the lead from row number 2 as they make their way down the back. Oh, big crash. Big crash. Straight into the wall. And that is
Seth Townsend in car number 49, head first into the concrete. And the red lights have come on. That was heavy contact at full noise. Crash crew immediately on the scene, and Seth Townsend is up against the concrete. We'll get a report on Seth as soon as we can, but at 7:53, though the last race will take a while. Here we go. Set for a dispatch. Racing in the junior sedan top stars, and they're 4 wide down the main straight because Truchet went the inside, and right round the outside goes Jesse Hammond. Out in front it's Luke Bailey, Lehman, Truchet, Oscar Amato's gone underneath of Hammond. Reynolds is there in the top half dozen. Our race leader comes into the main straight, Bailey just from Lehman, Truchet and Amato, Hammond. Oh, this has been set in a cracking pace. Oh, Hammond got sideways. A great evasive until the very end, and then we've got a massive crash. Jesse Hammond went super sideways, and they've just gone everywhere in him after that. Adam Reynolds is one of those. Another car involved is Riley Bain. There's also Xavier Crowe involved and 2 others that I can't quite pick up at this stage, but there's at least 5 involved in this crash.
I think it's Josh Birch, no, maybe even Travis Lehman. I know the one that facing the other way is William Glasby.
So 1 down, 14 to go. We're back under green conditions in the junior sedan top stars. Bailey, Lehman, Truchet, Oscar Amato as they get around the cone. Out of turn number 2, Cardinals corner. Luke Bailey leads by 2 car lengths. Back in second place, Jake Lehman. And in third place is Baxter Truchet. Oscar Amato is next, and then behind them would be Lincoln Hoth. We've done 2 laps.
Yeah, we finally got to that second lap after a couple of red light stoppages as Ayla Yates also puts her car onto the infield. So now 7 cars on the infield, and that leaves us down with 9 cars remaining as Jesse Hammond's only picked up the 1 position so far up into the 8th spot. But it's Bailey and Lehman who are the charge of the Light Brigade at the moment. Oscar Amato gets himself into the 3rd spot as the West Australian champion, up into a podium position. He gets by Baxter Truchet, who's also been challenged by Lincoln Hoth and Tira Amato, who's coming into play. But the front 2 are starting to break away. It's Bailey, Lehman and Amato.
Yeah, but Lehman is all over the back bumper of our race leader, Luke Bailey. 21.328 that time around. 11 laps remain. Oscar Amato trying to mow them down. Baxter Truchet in 4th, then Lincoln Hoth and Tira Amato. 5 down and 10 remain. Luke Bailey by 2 car lengths over Jake Lehman. Back in 3rd place is Oscar Amato. One of them not sounding too flash as it went past us. A little bit rough as it went through. But our race leader is Luke Bailey. One of them's coughing and spluttering. Here comes Jake Lehman. Behind Luke Bailey as we complete 6.
And it's all eyes on your top 2 at the moment. They're probably the best race at the moment as Amato, Hoth and Baxter Truchet fight in 5th,
I think
6th
it's
and 7th
Amato's.
place. I do think it's going to be Oscar Amato. He seems to be falling by the wayside at the moment, while Baxter Truchet's in a massive charge. Let's hear Oscar Amato as he comes past. He is going to the infield. That's definitely Oscar Amato, so he is out, and that is some hard luck for our WA number 1s, but that does elevate Baxter Truchet to position number 3. That's the 8th car on the infield, leaving us now with just the 8 cars on track, so the exact same amount of cars on track that there is on the infield. We've completed 8.
We've got 7 to go, and thank God we've got a really good race out in front. Nothing separating the lead 2 cars, and there's a gaggle of 4 for 3rd, 4th, 5th and 6th place. That is Truchet, Hoth, Tira Amato and Jesse Hammond. But back to our leaders. Half a dozen laps left to run in the Top Star feature race, and Luke Bailey has been hounded all the way by Jake Lehman. Down into Cardinals Corner they go. 3rd place is Truchet. Hoth is 4th, Tira Amato, and on the outside is Jesse Hammond. Our leaders are in the back straight, going up into turn number 3. Jake Lehman all over the back end as we lose another one with a flat tyre. That's Xavier Crow. Xavier Crow, and we've only got 7 left.
Yeah, and 5 laps remaining in this one. It's 4 seconds separating 2nd through to 3rd at the moment. The battle for 4th, though, is very exciting. Lincoln Hoth has it. Jesse Hammond wants it desperately as he's on the outside of Tira Amato to take over the 5th spot. So Amato finds back on the inside. Bailey and Lehman, they're on a different postcode at the moment. Very quick laps from our lead 2. It's Derby up against Bunbury. 2 completely different corners of the state at the moment. Meanwhile, 4th place is still an absolute corker. Hoth still holds on. Amato's got the inside line on Jesse Hammond. They're finding a way to get by the 29, who holds on strong. 3 to go.
Yeah, we've got 3 laps remaining, and it's a 2-car war. Lehman and Truchet have been at it from the get-go. Still Truchet holding 3rd place. Jesse Hammond looking to go around the outside of Jake Hoth. That's for 4th and 5th. Lincoln Hoth, that's for 3rd, 4th and 5th. But there's 2 to run. Bailey just in front. Back to Jake Lehman in 2nd place. Truchet is 3rd. Back to Hammond, Hoth, Amato and Johnson. But they're half a lap behind our lead 2 cars. The white flag coming out here in the Top Start feature race, which is going to go right to the flag. Nothing separating these 2. The last lap starts with Bailey just in front. Lehman right behind him. Back in 3rd place is Truchet, nearly half a lap behind. It's Bailey just in front. Lehman giving it absolutely everything. Down the back straight the final time. What has Jake Lehman got for our race leader? It's Luke Bailey in front. Lehman comes to the outside. Bailey, though, is going to prevail and lead all the way. 2nd goes the way of Jake Lehman. 3rd place is still up for dispute. Jesse Hammond comes underneath a Baxter Truchet. A run to the line, Truchet gets there. Hammond, then Hoth, then Amato. And the last one to complete the distance is Jake Johnson. Xavier Crowe, Oscar Amato, Isla Yates, Adam Reynolds, William Glasby, Riley Bain, Josh Birch and Travis Lehman, unfortunately, along with Seth Townsend, did not see the rest of the race out. Your win goes to this car here, car number 15. Luke Bailey wins from Jake Lehman and Baxter Truchet in the Top Star feature race, and he led from the get-go and drove very, very well.
Finally, once that race got underway, it was very fun to watch. But the A&B tyres, car number 15 of Luke Bailey. We talked about Derby and doing some good things down south as well. Be enjoyable to head to the Kimberley for some great speedway racing. And as I said, book some time off at the end of August as we'll be heading for 2 big weekends between Broome and Derby. More information to come out about that title in March. But how about a round of applause for Luke Bailey as he comes past the front straight. Well deserved from a great race from our Top Star Junior Sedans. As he'll head up into ACPH Victory Lane to get his photo. Production Sedans roll out for feature races. Why not as well? Start to give us who your top 3 will be for the Street Stock Coal Miner. Thanks to Collie Ridge Resort.